Alright, what's up YouTube? Swana here, coming at you with a deck profile of my locals. It is one of the top decks today. It actually got first place, and my friend Ethan here, who has the deck, is going to give you the little rundown of what it is. Alright, let's go.
Okay. Hello, and this deck has actually, in different variations, gotten first place almost every time it's been played here. And I'll go over the few basics with you. First of all, we start off with, this is True Draco Demise. We start off with 5 monsters. Most of the basic lineup. We have one of our monster that searches spells and trap, or it searches spells. Does that angle work?
Yeah, it's fine. Just focus on the...
And 2 of our monsters that searches out monsters, along with 2 of our boss monster, Masterpiece. Now normally, 5 monsters in a 40-card deck would not be all that great. However, we managed to run way too much draw power. So let me start going over the spells for us. First of all, Upstart Goblin, just because it makes it basically a 39-card deck. Pot of Dualities, because the basis for True Dracos is they tribute summon using continuous spells or traps, so thus you don't need to special summon, making Pot of Duality a plus. We run triple Terraforming, along with triple Dragonic Diagram, in order to make sure that no matter what, we will draw into our monsters, even if it's just by searching them.
Nice.
Diagram can also be used to have synergy with some of the other cards, with the True Draco themed cards, like True Draco Heritage, where its abilities let you tribute summon additional time every turn, draw cards equal to the number of types of cards sent to the grave this turn that are in archetype, as in spells, traps, or monsters. And also, if it is sent to grave, then from the field, then it destroys the spell or trap on the field. Then we also have Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix. What it does is it has the same tribute summon ability, the same destroy a spell or trap ability when sent from field to grave, thus allowing you to combo it with almost anything else that sends it to grave as the target of destruction. But it also can recycle 3 cards, themed cards, from your graveyard into your deck to draw 1 card.
Nice, so it's like another Upstart or Pot of Acquisitiveness.
Except it's actually better because you manage to burn through your cards very quickly. You're often going to have less than 10 cards left in your deck in the final few turns of the game. Next card we use is Into the Void. Into the Void itself is like an Upstart Goblin, just with a few more drawbacks. And there's one ruling thing that a lot of people get confused with its synergy with card demise. A lot of people think that that when this is on field, when you play this card, you have to have 3 other cards in your hand. But actually, you cannot place it on field unless it is a 3rd or higher card in your hand. So if you draw it off something like card demise, you can still play it, so it won't clog your hand. And of course, the kingpin of the deck is card demise. Pretty much what you do is set all your back row you can, tribute some monsters you can, and play this, and you'll draw 3. So it's a major plus. The only thing is that you can't deal damage or special summon the turn you activate this, which is really no problem because this is not an offensive deck. You mostly set up stuff to control your opponent. Okay. And there are 21 total spells. So let's go over traps. Okay. So first thing we do is we run, for in-archetype traps, triple True Draco Apocalypse. Now, alone this card is not all that great. Its abilities are, you can tribute summon during your opponent's turn, as a hard once per turn, and if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, destroy a monster that your opponent controls. However, its ability that makes it not all that great is that you can target a True Draco card you control, or True King, and destroy it, and if you do, have the attack of all your opponent's monsters permanently. It is actually one thing that helps get around a lot of local rogue picks, like Chaos Max Dragon, and certain other Raid Raptor cards that were being played in today's tournament, by just doing non-targeting attack reduction. Then we also have our final in-archetype card is True King's Return. Now this card isn't used all that much for its main ability. Again, it has the same, when set from field to grave, you destroy a monster on field, and you can also tribute summon during your opponent's turn using this card. However, it has the ability that once per turn, you can special summon a true Draco or true King monster from your graveyard, and if you do, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn. So it can help you set up your field at the end of your opponent's turn, 4 plays in your turn. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. The control. Run triple the Monarch's Erupt and 1 Skill Drain, which have essentially the same abilities. Monarch's Erupt, what it does is, while you control a tribute summoned monster, which would be all the monsters in your deck, the effects of all your opponent's monsters are negated. And like that, Skill Drain is basically a 4th copy of that, and you pay 1,000 life points, and the effects of all monsters on the field, including yours, are negated. So it's not as good, but it's a lot better to have negation than to not have it. So it's sort of a trade. Okay.
Not bad.
Then we have Imperial Order. Now this is what actually carried this deck for this tournament. It's pretty low cost maintenance, 700 per standby phase, for negating all spell effects. So it doesn't matter if your opponent's using like a field spell, continuous spells, or anything. They just can't activate effects anywhere. And then finally the negation. We run a copy of Solemn Warning, we have New Judgment, and Triple Solemn Strike. This is just to take care of threats before they actually become a problem. Of course, just stops them from hitting the field or stops them from activating their effects.
Oh, if you want to stop anything, well, Judgment stops everything. Because you're being judged, partially. Just with that card. Alright. Did you have an extra deck for it, or?
Because of the restrictions of the Monarch's Erupt, it can only be played if you control no cards in your extra deck. So that itself limits the deck.
Okay, so...
And while we do have a side deck for this, it was thrown together hastily and was not even used.
Right, and usually side deck is up to personal preference, so if you still choose to make a side deck, you can do it whenever you want to. And let's just go over it brief a little bit.
Okay. It's like one card which not many people would think would work, but is really useful versus large threats and spam decks, is the Winged Dragon of Ra. Sphere mode, of course. And it's basically a triple kaiju. It just gets rid of 3 opponent's monsters without activating anything, because you tribute them for the cost. And it's especially good in this deck because it uses a normal summon, so it does not conflict with any of the special summon restrictions. Plus, you can also have all your abilities to normal summon additional times, so it does not hurt the deck at all. And of course, other things like for personal preference, like the Monarch Stormforth, which lets you turn any one of your monsters into basically a kaiju. It tributes opponent's monster, but special summons to your side of the field. And of course, Regeki, just in case. We actually removed Regeki from the main deck because it seemed to clog, and more often than not, we destroyed it with Diagram for a search instead of actually activating it.
And it's more like a situational card most times.
Yeah.
Because most people have ways to stop destruction.
Yeah. And on top of that, you already do so much destruction with Masterpiece's banishment ability and the True King's Return and Apocalypse destruction.
Alright, nice. Well, that is my friend Ethan's deck, and, well, this was fun, guys. And we got maybe another duel later on coming up, so see you all in the next video. Suena, sign off. Peace.